Megadeth has been a defining force in thrash metal since the 1980s, with a career that has spanned decades of reinvention, turmoil, and triumph. Ranking their albums from worst to best is no easy task, as even their weakest releases carry the signature aggression and sharp musicianship that made the band famous. What emerges is a portrait of a group fueled by a combustible mix of chemicals, vengeance, and spite, and one that has never stopped evolving. At the bottom of the list are the records that struggle to find footing during difficult transitional moments. Albums like Risk from 1999, often dismissed as an ill-fated attempt to embrace mainstream rock, showed a band caught between artistic curiosity and fan expectations. While it has defenders for its experimental edge, most listeners consider it the least successful Megadeth project. Similarly, Super Collider from 2013 was criticized for lackluster songwriting and a noticeable softening of the band's thrash identity. These works represent the risks of reinvention, where ambition occasionally clashed with execution. Moving up the rankings, the middle tier belongs to albums that captured flashes of greatness but lacked the consistency of their strongest releases. Records like Cryptic Writings and United Abominations showcased Dave Mustaine's ability to blend melody with aggression. Yet they sometimes leaned too heavily on radio-friendly hooks or uneven production. Still, songs from these albums remain staples in the band's live shows, proving their enduring appeal despite mixed reviews. The band's early years remain a focal point of their legacy, and albums such as Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good, and So Far, So Good. So What highlighted their raw thrash beginnings. While rough around the edges, these records established Megadeth as a formidable force alongside Metallica, Slayer, and Anthrax. Fueled by speed, technicality, and Mustaine's relentless drive to outdo his rivals, these albums set the foundation for what was to come. The upper half of the rankings features records where Megadeth reached full creative power. Countdown to Extinction from 1992 remains one of their most commercially successful albums, balancing accessibility with biting social commentary. Tracks like Symphony of Destruction brought the band to mainstream audiences without diluting their edge. Euthanasia followed with a polished, melodic approach, proving Megadeth could thrive outside of pure thrash while still delivering sharp riffs and lyrical intensity. At the very top are the masterpieces that defined not just Megadeth, but thrash metal as a whole. Peace Sells, But Who's Buying stands as a timeless statement of political fury and technical brilliance. Its iconic bass line and ferocious riffs made it a landmark in heavy metal history. Rust in Peace, often hailed as their magnum opus, combined precision, speed, and progressive song structures into an album that remains untouchable in the genre. With tracks like Holy Wars, The Punishment Due, and Hangar 18, it represented Megadeth at the peak of creativity and musicianship. More recent work, such as Dystopia from 2016, proved that Megadeth could still deliver thrilling music decades into their career. The album earned critical acclaim and even secured the band a Grammy Award, marking a triumphant return to form after years of uneven output. It demonstrated that the combustible energy driving Megadeth in their early years had not burned out but instead transformed into a more refined, still ferocious force. Taken together, the ranking of Megadeth's albums tells a story of persistence, rivalry, and restless creativity. Each release, whether celebrated or criticized, reflects Dave Mustaine's uncompromising vision and his refusal to settle for anything less than impact. The journey from their rough early days to Grammy-winning success shows a band that has survived addiction, lineup changes, and industry shifts without ever abandoning its core spirit. That spirit, volatile, vengeful, and unyielding, remains the fire behind Megadeth's music and the reason fans continue to debate their legacy album by album.